beautiful, welcome back. In today's video I am bringing you my next update on my full face rolling project pan. So this is my ginormous basket of goodies that I'm currently working on. This is my full face rolling project pan that I'm doing this year. So in this basket I have makeup, I have hair care, I have some perfume bits, and I have a few skincare bits as well. This past month hasn't been that great, but I will say I do still have some empties, which I'm very excited about. The progress on the rest of the products hasn't been that great, but we're going to run through and I'm going to share with you how I'm going on these products. So if you want to see the update, then stay tuned. But before we get into the video, if you're around here and you love watching project panning related content or any other beauty content, make sure you subscribe down below. And without further ado, let's jump on into the update. So as I said, this update, it's a bit abysmal when it comes to a few products, and I will say last update was very good because when I actually edited that video I realized that it probably was about 8 weeks between the intro, when I filmed the intro, and then when I filmed my update. So we were looking about 8 weeks between that. And now between the last update and this update, I think we're only sitting at around 3 weeks. So that's why there's been such a dramatic difference between last update and this update. So between the two, we've got like 3 months of updates, and I've only done, this is my second update, if that makes sense. Anyway, so these are my products. Let's go through the spreadsheet. So I like to separate out my spreadsheet and I like to follow it quite methodically. Otherwise, I always forget a product. So if I don't follow the spreadsheet, I'm going to forget something, and I want to make sure I'm updating on all my products. So we are starting off with primers, and this is the primer that I have in this project. So this is the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. Over the last month, I only used 0.05 grams of this one, and I think that's probably like 1 use, maybe 2. I find with this product, and I've mentioned this time and time again, I only need quite a small amount for it to do my entire face. So the rate we're going, I'm not going to get this one finished this year. So I really need to up my game with it a little bit more, and just try and get a few more uses out of it each month. I'm still on the fence with this product. I don't really know how I feel about it, if that makes sense. I don't know whether I really am on the smoothing primer bandwagon anymore, but I have it, so I don't want it to go to waste, and I don't want to just throw it out. So it just seems incredibly wasteful to just throw it out. So I may as well at least try and get some usage out of it. So I think this next month, I really want to try and get some more uses out of this one. Then we have my foundations, and I'm currently working on 2 foundations because I am currently mixing these. So I have my Juvias Place Radiant Iron Magic Natural Radiant Foundation. And then I have in this bottle here, this is the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation. So this is basically MAC Face and Body in this bottle. So with these ones, I only used around 1 gram of each of these this past month. So the Juvias Place, I used 1.38 grams. And then the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Foundation, I used 0.95 grams of this one. So not quite 1 gram, but I am still mixing these. I do believe, I reckon maybe next month, we might start seeing through the packaging down the bottom here on the Iron Magic Foundation. We shall see. We shall see. It probably will just depend on when I film the next update, like how many weeks it is between now and then. But I just feel like it's getting to the point where all of this is like down here. So I reckon maybe next month we might see some windowing starting to show. And then my MAC one, I have lines, but I don't really have enough usage on it to make another line. I literally use like 3 drops of this every time I mix these 2 together. So I don't use very much of this each time I use it. So I'm not surprised by the very slow progress on it, but I still would like to see this one finished sometime soon because it's taking a very long time. So that's those 2. I reckon the Juvias Place probably maybe there's like another 3 or 4 months in the Juvias Place foundation, which is a lot. It's a lot. Just purely because I mix it. If I wasn't mixing it, I probably would see this one already finished. But just because I'm mixing it, I don't think it's going to be done anytime soon. I reckon there's quite a few more months left in that one. My concealer, we're still working on my Glossier Stretch Concealer. I have the color G12. I am starting to notice like that there's usage. It's not just looking the same anymore. I feel like every time I use it, it's noticeable that I've used it. I hope that makes sense, but it's definitely starting to look used. It's looking like we are in with a chance of having this finished this year. So in terms of weight, I've used 0.17 grams of this one, and you know, there's a pan at the bottom there, and it's starting to get a bit bigger, and the sides are definitely starting to move down towards the bottom. We're making progress. I'm still using this, like, basically in a month I'm probably using this about 15 to 20 times a month. Basically every time I do my makeup for work is when I'm using that. Next up, we have more slow progress. So my powders, I'm currently working on my Pat McGrath Labs Under Eye Setting Powder and my Makeup Forever HD Skin Setting Powder. So my Pat McGrath's Under Eye Setting Powder, I used, this is so woeful, 0.05 grams of this one. It's still, like, it's starting to look quite flat. I definitely think that there's a potential that I will either have this one finished this year or be very close to having it finished. And then for my Makeup Forever powder, I use 1.15 grams of this one. When I look at this one, and it's all like down the bottom, this is where we're sitting. So we've used quite a lot of this one, quite a lot indeed. And this one has like 18, yeah, so this one has 18 grams. I think in total since the start of the year, we've used around like the 6 to 7 gram mark of this powder. Eyeshadows. So for my eyeshadows, I currently have like 2 eyeshadow primers. One is a primer, one is like a glitter glue, and then I'm also using my Urban Decay Naked Basics as like a lid setting shade. So my Nars Smudgeproof eyeshadow primer, this is the tinted version. I used 0.26 grams of this one. This one is still, every time I pull that wand out, it is still loaded, absolutely loaded with product. So this one's gonna take me forever. And then my Pat McGrath's wand, I have used this. I swear I've used it. But there's no weight change, which is disappointing because I definitely know I've used it, but I've obviously used it such an insignificant amount that it hasn't affected the weight at all. And then my Urban Decay Naked Basics, again, this one I definitely have used it, and you can definitely see the difference in the comparisons between what it looked like last month and this month, but I only used 0.04 grams. But you can definitely tell this one here, the WOS, down the bottom, it's really starting to like slope inwards towards the pan that I already have. And then this one, it definitely has a dip in the middle there. It's not anywhere near pan, but I feel like you can really tell and see that I have been using this, and I've been using it very regularly. I don't know. I think that maybe down the bottom here, we might have maybe some like side pan, but I don't want it to get to the point where I hit the pan at the bottom, because I feel like that will just crumble it. So once I get quite close to the bottom of the pan on WOS, I'm going to start working on the top section of this pan here that I haven't touched yet. And then once I get close on that one, that's when I'll repress it. So that's the plan. The way I'm going with WOS, I definitely will see that one finished at some point this year. Maybe like, oh, I was going to say maybe like the halfway point of the year, but that's only a couple of months away. That's only 3 months away. So that might be wishful thinking. Tatcha Dewy Skin Setting Mist, or Dewy Skin Mist, Luminous Dewy Skin Mist, that's what it's called. I didn't use this. like at all. Not one bit. Benefit brow product. I have been using this like every day, but the weight hasn't changed. I think I have a feeling I might need to get a new scale. But I mean, you might see a better difference in the photos. So we'll see what the photos say. But I definitely have been using it like every single day. But the difference between the weight last month and this month is zip. Big fat zip. So disappointing. I have, however, seen a difference in my Glossier Boy brow. I have a drop of 0.13 grams of this one. This one, every time I pull it out, it's still got product coming out, so it's still got a lot of use left on it. All right, lip products. So I'm happy to report that I have usage on every single lip product that I have in the project at the moment. Disappointingly though, no empties just yet. I reckon maybe next month though, so we'll see. So starting off with my Hourglass Confession lipstick. This is in the color At Dawn. I used 0.12 grams of this one, and when I wind it up, this is how much we have left. So it's starting to get quite small. Next month, this one is going to be really teeny tiny. I think next month we are either going to be at the point where we start digging into it, or it's either going to be very close to that. So maybe like another 2 months on this one and it will be finished. And then we have my Burmese Dream lip oil. I'm actually really disappointed in myself at how little progress I made on this one this past month. This is how little progress I made. So only a very small line. And I do know that obviously there is the difference in the amount of time between my last update and the intro, and then now this update and the last update, which definitely equates for the difference in how much usage. But I know that there was a noticeable drop for me in how much I was reaching for this. So I only dropped in weight 0.29 grams of this one. So disappointing, but I still have seen some progress on it. I really want to try and focus on this one and really get some good use out of this one over the next month. Like, I want to see lots of reapplication. Then we have my Glossier Balm Dot Com. This one's starting to get to the point where I'll either need to cut it open or it will be finished. I used a whole entire gram of this one this past month. It is all sitting down like in this bottom bit here. I reckon maybe a month and this one will be completely finished. And last but not least is the product that I totally failed at last month and I hadn't used at all. This month I do have some usage on it. It's not that great, but I still was able to make a line and I have seen some weight drops, so we're going to take what we can get. I used 0.28 grams of this one and we have a teeny little line like right at the top, but when this one sits flat, you can definitely see like air through the top there. So we're making progress on the weight, the level dropping. These are very both of these, the Burmese Dream and the Bareminerals lip glosses, are very satisfying to track. I am very much off track when it comes to trying to get the rest of my Bareminerals glosses done this year. I don't know whether it's going to happen anymore, given the very small amount of progress I've made since the start of the year. I was supposed to have one of these like done by now, but that's not going to happen. So I don't know if I'm going to get them all done this year. Milani Luminoso blush. I have weight drop on this one, but not as much as I would like, and I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot when it comes to this one. So I only used 0.1 grams of this one. This is what it looks like now. It's still flattening out somewhat. I can slowly see the pan like appearing around the edge, but I'm technically panning 1, 2, like 7 blushes at the moment, which is absolutely ridiculous. At once. Like, who thought that was a good idea? I have my Tarte blush palette, which technically has 5 color. Wait, no, does that have 5 in it or 4? 1, 2, 3, No, that has 5 pans in it. So I technically have 6 blushes in that palette that I'm working my way through. There's a blush in my Hourglass palette, and then I have Milani Luminoso. So I'm technically panning 8 blushes at the same time, which is an absolute ludicrous idea. Don't ever do it, because you'll feel like you're not making any progress because you're spreading yourself so thin between so many different blushes. Now that I'm having this epiphany, I think that that was a really stupid move on my part. But I think that I was envisioning myself being through at least one by now. But because I am sharing the love between all 8 of them, I'm like not making any progress at all. So I might need to revisit that. And maybe just like stop myself from touching some of them. I might need to make that executive call because I really want to get Luminoso out of my collection. And I saw from the last update, when I am actually focusing on this one and only using this one, I can see very good progress on it. Like for the 8 weeks that I had this one and I took this one away with me, and it was like one of the only, actually, did I take this one away with me? I'm pretty sure I took this one away with me. Yeah, I did. When I took this one away, I was like using it basically solo. So I saw like half a gram's worth of progress on this one. And I'm not saying only 0.1 of a gram is bad progress, but given that I know that I can do better, and if I was only working on this one, I would see a lot more progress on it. I probably would have pan on it already. So we might need to reevaluate the blush situation. I might need to bar myself from working on certain blushes. Anyway, that's a realization that I didn't realize I was going to have today. Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. I am making very good progress on this one. I have used 0.46 of a gram since the last update. This is what it looks like. I think that at the next update, we're going to have to repress this one. I'm trying to avoid repressing this one for as long as I can because I just know once I repress products, they're not the same as what they were before pressing. Like, it's still a usable product, but if I can prolong repressing as much as I can, I will. So I reckon maybe another month, maybe a month and a half of usage on this one, and it will be getting to the point where I'm going to have to repress because it's going to be like so thin around the outside. But we're almost completely exposed to that second ring, only a little bit up the top here, and then it will be completely exposed. And we're just going to continue to work through it. I think like half a gram of usage on this every month is really a great way to go. It says there's 10 grams in total in this. Obviously, I had pan on this one before I rotated it in. But around the edge, it's actually really quite high to the pan. So it's very noticeable how I've been panning this one. Like, I was very much swirling my brush in the center of the pan as opposed to like trying to use the entirety of the pan. It's very noticeable. So I need to make more of an effort on where I swirl my brush in the pan, I guess. But yeah, 0.46 grams in that one. My 2 skincare products, the Andalou Naturals Deep Wrinkle Dermal Filler and the Mary Kay Spot Solution for acne prone skin. I didn't use either of these ones purely because I left them in my basket after the last filming of updates. I forgot to put them back in my bathroom, and it's been like that for the entire month. I've been forgetting to put them back in my bathroom, so I haven't used these ones at all. There's a lot of disappointing products in the list this month. There's some disappointments and then there's some great progress. There's no like in between. Speaking of disappointments, all of my nail polishes. So the Holo Taco Peely Base Coat, the Barry M nail polish in Fuchsia, and the Madame Glam Soak Off No Wipe Gel Top Coat. Didn't use any of these ones either. We're just flying through in this update, aren't we? Fragrances. Now we're getting somewhere. Fragrances, my Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Crush Perfume Mist. I used 6.83 grams of this one over the past month. I've made a line. Ordinarily, I would see a lot more progress on this one, but because I was focusing my attention heavily on using up the other two perfumes. This one, it didn't get as much use, but now that I have both of these used up, this one gets my full attention. And given that, I think we'll probably see this one finished by the next update, because once I use this and only this, I fly through it. So I did manage to use up the Ellis Brooklyn Salt Eau de Parfum. This one had a little bit left in it, and I used up that last little bit today. This is where it was sitting last month. So I've used that much up over the last month. And then my Dia Sendoga, I don't know what perfume, I also used this one up as well. That's how much was left there, and I managed to get that one completely used as well. This one, I think I had like 2 uses after the last update, so I'm very glad to see the end to that one. And the last category is hair care products. We have some exciting news. I managed to use up 2 hair care products over the last month. So the first one is the Not Your Mother's Sculpting Gel. I had a feeling that I would get this one used up. I did have to cut it open to get the last little skerricks out the bottom there, but I managed to get this one used up. This one actually lasted me a lot longer than I thought it was going to last month, just purely because there was quite a lot like on the outsides and like sitting in the cap here. So I only just used this one up, I think it was when I washed my hair during the week, like this past week. So there was still quite a lot left in there. Then we have my Juice Stuck Up Hairspray. I've actually used this one quite a bit as well. So I used 2.93 grams of this one. It's still like, you can still hear that there's quite a lot in there, but I'm really happy to see that I have gotten a decent amount of usage on this perfume on this hairspray over the last month. The next one that I managed to finish up is my Davines Curl Building Serum. So I managed to use this one up as well. The same time that I finished this one was when I finished this one. This product has been in my collection for so many years, and I have been like focusing on this product in Project Pants for a couple of years now. This bottle lasted me an absolute eternity. It is a 250 ml bottle, so it lasted me ages, but I'm glad that I finally managed to get that one used up. My Diva Curl Diva Fresh Scalp and Hair Revitalizer, I only used this one a little bit, so I used 1.77 grams of this one. Not enough to make another line, but still happy to see at least like 2 grams of this one. It's quite a liquidy product, so that would be at least a couple of uses. And then we have my Not Your Mother's Curl Talk Mousse. I haven't used this one because I was really trying to focus in on using up the Davines. And I am going to rotate in a replacement for the hair gel. I have here the Diva Curl Light Defining Gel. This one's coming in. I have used it a little bit throughout the time that I've had it, so that's where we're sitting. I think now that I'm focusing on this one, I'll probably get through it quite quickly. So that's all of my products. Last but not least is my little sample. I only managed to use up 1 sample this last month, so it's the Ole Henriksen Dark Spot Toner. That takes me to a total of 6 samples, so we're slowly getting towards our 50 samples. So there you have it. That is my update on my full face rolling project pan for 2025. I have managed to get some products used up and out of the collection already, a total of 4 products already, which I'm very happy with, making good progress on a decent amount, but also quite a lot that I really need to pull my finger out and work on. So that's my update. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. If you want to keep up to date on all my project pans and my updates on this project pan, make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss out. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, beautiful.